Family manipulation is the hardest betrayal to fight because the manipulator has decades of practice, knows all your weaknesses, and can turn your own relatives against you with carefully crafted lies. But there's something they don't teach you about fighting back, something that gives you an unfair advantage every manipulator fears. I'm Madison Clark, and today I'm sharing the secret weapon that destroys even the most skilled family manipulator, straight from the most powerful story in my book, Served Cold: 20 Stories of Perfect Revenge. Meet Thomas, whose older brother Kenneth had been manipulating their elderly father for months, isolating him from family, controlling his finances, and systematically rewriting his will to cut out Thomas and their sister completely. Kenneth was a master manipulator, smooth, convincing, and always one step ahead of any confrontation. Here's what Kenneth didn't expect. Thomas understood that manipulators have one fatal weakness. They can't resist explaining how clever they are to someone they trust. So Thomas did something that seemed insane. He pretended to admire Kenneth's manipulation skills. "I have to hand it to you," Thomas told Kenneth privately. "The way you've managed Dad's situation is actually pretty brilliant. How did you get him to agree to all these changes so quickly?" Kenneth, flattered by what he thought was admiration, started bragging about his methods. For 3 weeks, Thomas played the role of impressed younger brother, while Kenneth detailed exactly how he'd been manipulating their father's medication to keep him confused, forging signatures on legal documents, and even bribing a corrupt lawyer to backdate changes to the will. Thomas recorded every conversation. But the genius move came when Thomas discovered that Kenneth had been texting his wife about the manipulation, thinking their father was too medicated to overhear. One text read, "The old man signed another document today. Almost got everything transferred. Few more weeks, and it's all ours." Thomas had Kenneth's confession, documented evidence of elder abuse, and proof of will fraud. But instead of going to police immediately, Thomas did something that destroyed Kenneth completely. He invited the entire family to a celebration dinner to honor Kenneth's dedication to their father's care. With 20 family members present, Thomas stood up to make a toast. "I want everyone to hear how dedicated Kenneth has been to Dad's care," he said, then played the recordings of Kenneth bragging about manipulation, medication abuse, and document fraud. The room was dead silent as Kenneth's own words condemned him. The fraudulent will was overturned. Kenneth faced criminal charges, and most importantly, their father spent his final months surrounded by family who actually cared about him. This teaches the most important lesson about fighting family manipulation. You can't beat a manipulator by being more manipulative. You beat them by being smarter. Kenneth was skilled at lying, but Thomas was better at listening and documenting. The secret weapon that destroys family manipulators is patience combined with evidence. Manipulators always get overconfident and reveal too much to the wrong person. Your job isn't to outsmart them in the moment. It's to let them outsmart themselves over time while you document everything. This strategy, letting manipulators expose themselves while building an airtight case, is detailed across multiple stories in Served Cold. Family manipulators, workplace backstabbers, and social destroyers all have the same weakness. They can't resist bragging about their cleverness. The book is $2.99 on Kindle, and every story shows ordinary people defeating manipulators who thought they were untouchable. These aren't fantasy tales. They're strategic blueprints using real psychology and legal methods. If someone in your family is manipulating relationships, controlling elderly relatives, or turning people against each other, you need these strategies. Not just for revenge, but to protect everyone else from continued abuse. Kenneth thought he was the smartest person in the room. Thomas proved that intelligence beats manipulation every time when you're patient enough to gather the evidence. Click the link below and get Served Cold now. Learn how to make manipulators expose themselves, document their methods, and destroy their credibility with their own words. Because the best way to fight family manipulation isn't to become a better manipulator, it's to become a better investigator.